Hey guys, it's Brigitte with San Diego Seed Company, and we are sweating in the garden because it is hot and it is August. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what you plant in August for zone 9 and 10. Now, if you're a transplant gardener, meaning you came from a different part of the United States and now you're living in zone 9 and 10, you're probably really confused. It's okay, I was too, but in this video, I'm going to help you understand what you should be and should not be planting in August for the most bountiful garden. Okay, so if you're gardening in zone 9 and 10 and you're confused because it's super hot, but yet we are ending or getting towards the end of summer, let me tell you, we've got something for you. So this is an in-depth calendar, again, only for zone 9 and 10. You can kind of use it for 8, give or take, but if you're in zone 7, 6, or the other zones, I'm sorry, it's not gonna work. We made this because it can be confusing what to plant when in our particular area, and this will tell you every single month what you should be planting, mistakes to avoid, and also what you should be doing in the garden so that you are staying on top of things. Now, we don't have any more in stock right now in August, but you can join the waiting list to be notified as soon as we get next year's printed, which should be in a couple of months. We should have them available for purchase. So if you don't know what to plant in zone 9 and 10, this will tell you, but also you don't need the calendar because I'm going to tell you in this video exactly what to plant in a very hot August garden in zone 9 and 10. Now before we get started, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you're notified anytime we put out a video and so I can help you be the best gardener possible. So the thing about August that makes it so hard is it's wicked hot in zone 9 and 10. It's also very dry. We haven't gotten any rain for a very long time. And it's also the start of the end of summer. Now, as the daylight hours get less and less, and as we move closer and closer to Labor Day, the evenings are going to be a little bit cooler, even though the daytime temperatures are hotter, and that makes the garden kind of struggle. The other part is, as I mentioned, the soil is really parched and it's really hot. So focus on things that are going to do well in August, and also start thinking about next season. So you'll notice I put think about cool season. That's because in commercial growing, we actually start a lot of our brassicas and our cool season crops as early as August, believe it or not. Now, I didn't list them on this board because it's a little bit of an advanced move, but if you have taken some of our courses, you'll know that I talk about starting broccoli, cauliflower, and all of your brassicas as early as August. So I'm gonna break this down into really two things, what you should be planting and what you shouldn't be planting, okay? At this point in the season, you still have time to succession plant. But when you're thinking about succession planting, and that means planting your second, third, fourth, or fifth time of a particular crop, keep in mind you want something that has short days to maturity. So is it going to mature while we're still warm and it's still warm season weather? And also, is it going to enjoy the waning hours of sunlight? So you can still do beans. Corn, we're right on the cusp of it being too late. You know what? I'm going to take corn off. Although it is possible to plant another round of corn, I don't know if the effort is going to be worth the results. The reason why I took it off is because, again, think about the two factors that make a season. It's not just about temperature, it's also the amount of hours of sunlight. Our days are getting shorter. We have passed the summer, the longest day of the year in the summer, and now our days are getting shorter, the evenings are getting cooler, so some crops are not going to thrive. I'm going to take off corn right now. So, you do still have time for cucumbers, melons, squash, and pumpkins. All of these are items that you would direct sow. And the reason why I say that is because you don't have enough time to start these in little cells and then transplant them out. There's also no benefit to doing that because the soil is warm. It's an easy time during the year to direct sow as long as you have irrigation and the seeds are remaining moist the whole entire time. Now, next on our list, you'll notice if you saw last month's chart, I did say and seed start. I erased that because you really don't have time to start eggplants, peppers, and tomatoes from seed at this time in the year. With everything I say, there's always an exception to the rule. Technically, you can grow some tomato plants year-round here in zone 9 and 10. Cherry tomatoes in particular, you can grow year-round. In fact, that is a cherry tomato plant that's been just growing wild for several years. But the production is really poor. Is it worth the effort? I don't think so. So if you go to the nursery and you're really excited and you want to buy some eggplant plants or peppers or tomato plants, you can stick those in the garden and you can still get a harvest before the end of the year. Something to consider is when you're transplanting anything this time of year, oh my gosh, is it hard to do it well. And that's because the soil is so dry, it is so hot, that the plants really have a hard time adjusting. If you're a brand new gardener, make sure you do these 3 steps. Water before you transplant, water during your transplanting, and after. 3 times. If you really want to take another step, put shade cloth up. That's going to help let the plants adjust to their new home. But keep in mind, transplanting this time of year is difficult because of the heat and the dryness in the soil. Okay, so lastly, let's talk about flowers. Pretty much this time of year, if you're planting something, it better love the heat because it's hot. Hyacinth bean, very easy to direct sow. Marigolds, you can see we have tons of marigolds all over the garden right now, and you can easily succession plant them several more times. Sunflowers, milkweed, marigolds, statice, and also zinnias. Now, the beauty with all of these flowers is you can either start them by seed, by direct sowing them in the garden. Again, check out, we have irrigation. It's very difficult to start seeds directly in the ground if you don't have a constant source of moisture via irrigation. A lot of our gardeners, especially our beginning gardeners, will say, well, I water several times a day. That's still not enough during this heat to get seeds to germinate quickly and easily. So if you want to direct sow, make sure you've got irrigation. You can use shade cloth to keep moisture in the soil. But also, I'm not going to be offended if you want to just pick up these plants at a nursery. They're very easy to transplant this time of year. They don't mind transplanting, and sometimes I can also be this way. I just want instant success, and it's nice to stick something in the ground that's already ready and good to go. All of these marigolds we started by seed and we transplanted, and we are starting more marigolds as we speak so that we can have plenty of beautiful marigolds all the way through the fall. But if that's a little advanced for you, go to the nursery, get some beautiful transplants and stick them in the ground. You will not be disappointed. All right, so whether or not you're a super advanced grower or a total beginner grower for zone 9 and 10, we've got you covered. We have our what to grow in August. We have tons of videos on every single month about what to plant in zone 9 and 10. And we also have a super comprehensive calendar that you can purchase if you want something more tactile that you can have to put, oh, it fell apart because I've been using it so much. But this is actually a cool feature. The back comes off so that this can be stuck on your fridge so you can constantly reference it when you're thinking about, oh, I want to plant something. Boom, here it is. It'll tell you whether or not you can plant it during that month, every single month throughout the year in zone 9 and 10. So we've got you covered, and we hope you have a beautiful and amazing garden, and we hope we can be a small part of it.